Season 6, the long-awaited Season 6 of the Multi-Class Endurance Championship is a month away, and in between now and then we're going to do 5 races celebrating the first 5 seasons with all the cars from all the seasons so far. Starting with this one, where we're going to go through all 14 Season 1 cars in this race. But I'm standing at the back though. This video is brought to you by Bruffy.com. This is my website where you can find all the info you need about me and my content, from a fully documented catalogue of my videos with chronological playlists to live streaming plans and much, much more. Go straight there with a link in the description and pinned comment. That is a long hold waiting for the harmonic start to sort itself out at the back of a 47 player grid. I'm in 45th though, because Benny decided to have a run up, so... Oh god. So yeah, MCEC Season 6. It's a month away. Someone asked me in the chat just now, if you've not seen MCEC before, what should you catch up on to get up to date beforehand? I would say, at the very least, watch Season 5. I'll leave a link to all of the seasons in the description of each of these videos, I suppose. But Season 5 was probably like the best produced in terms of videos, and the format is as same as it's good as it will be for Season 6. If you watch the Season 5 videos, and then if you want to go back and watch Seasons 1 to 4, there's a lot of crazy moments that happen and great racing and epic stuff, but if you just want to have an idea of what to expect from Season 6, Season 5's the way to go. Because Season 6 will be mostly about the live experience. Going to be more focusing on doing a live stream of all the races and improving that experience. So I'm not going to make dedicated videos like I've done for the previous seasons. Good God. Good God. So if you've watched Season 5, you'll have a good background in what you need. Fun fact. You could fit the entirety of Seasons 1 to 5 in the time it's taken to do Season 6 between the end of Season 5. So it's taken longer to start Season 6 from the end of Season 5 than it did to get to the end of Season 5 from the start of Season 1. That's how long it's been, and that's why the MCEC Season 6 meme was such a thing, because it had been so long. And Season 5 was meant to be the final season, to be fair. But, hey, we'll do it one more time with some new cars on the new gen platforms for the first time. Should make it interesting with various HSW cars that we can have and whatnot. It's different enough, at least. Alright, Prairie. So, for this first race, we are doing Season 1 cars, of which there were 14. Because in Season 1, which started on the 28th of September 2014, I almost said 2024. So, we're talking over 11 years ago that MCEC Season 1's first season started. First race started. 7 rounds. 2 of the rounds were on the North Loop. 2 were on Cutting Corridors GP, which that was only a track in Season 1. And 3 of them were on Los Santos GP, one of them in the rain. And I wanted to have like all 5 of the main tracks represented, but obviously the North Loop is huge, so we've gone for the shortest variation of the North Loop with the East Circuit in the race that will have the lowest number of cars. So this first race is going to be certainly longer than all the others. The rest should be more close to a normal 25-minute random race, but at least we get all the cars represented. Someone better be waiting for me for that. Didn't see who it was, so I can't call them out anyway. The race was going well until then. So we started with the Schwarzer, which was the final car for the final round in the GT2 class in Season 1 on the North Loop. There was only 2 GTs in Season 1, GT1 and GT2, because it was held on the 360 and the PS3. So we only had 16 players maximum. And this was before we had like spectators and race organisers and all that kind of stuff. It was very much the Wild West of competitive racing. I mean, we used to race around Los Santos GP with the crossover still part of it. You just had to give way to people. But you can tell the Prairie was the GT1 car for its class against the Dilettante. Launch past the Dilettante there. Vigero. This was the GT2 car for round 6 on Los Santos GP. And as usual with these random select races, everyone's going to get the same cars by the end. So even though I was losing places in the Prairie, that crash really has cost me a lot of time. But I started at the back, to be fair, on a harmonic start with more than 45 players. So it was always going to be about how far up the order I could get in this one rather than troubling the top positions. But we'll see what we can do. Yeah, season 6 will start on the 1st of February and be every Sunday for the next 8 weeks after that. Tune in live on Sunday the whole day. We go through the 3 platforms. If you want to get merch, get your Multi-Class Endurance Championship merch. That is back available on the store. Ever since I swapped my store over to the new provider, we haven't had MCEC merch. So if you want one of these t-shirts that I'm currently wearing, or a mug or whatever, store.bruffy.com. I'll probably highlight the MCEC stuff on the front page so you don't need to go too far to find it. There is also something special I'm working on, MCEC store item related, but that probably isn't going to be on the store by the time this goes up on YouTube, so I'll tell you when that's available. You can also go to bruffy.com/MCEC and it will give you links to all of the playlists for all of the videos. It will give you links to all of the results and spreadsheets and historical stats and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff on there if you want to learn more about it. If you've never seen anything of the Multi-Class Endurance Championship before. And over the next 4 weeks after this, we're going to be doing the Season 2 cars, and then the Season 3 cars, the Season 4 cars, and the Season 5 cars, all in the same format. All get the same cars by the end on each of a smaller variation of each of the tracks used in the MCEC. Culminating with Season 5 on the Friday before Season 6 starts. And I'm sure I'll tell you all about the fact that Season 6 is about to start on that weekend when we get to it. Alright, Zentorno. This has got to be... yeah, this will be the fastest car in the selection. This was the GT1 car for round 4. Los Santos GP in the rain. I had a torrid time in this, I seem to remember. I had a bad time, but didn't I win that race? I feel like I won that race. Even though I had a bad time. I was at least second. This is just going to be like every single race we do in the run-up to Season 6 in this format. It's just going to be triggering the PTSD of every single MCEC season. Damn it. Always in the fast car, I lose time. What a classic the Zentorno is. Yeah, I can't believe, I genuinely couldn't believe that it had been longer without MCEC than we had all of the seasons. I looked at it, like I put the dates into DuckDuckGo search, and it was saying that from the start of season 1 to the end of season 5 was 2,004 days, and from the end of season 5 to the start of season 6 it will be 2,112 days, I think. So it's been so much longer. Alright, the Massacro, the GT1 car. For the North Loop. We've done the Schwarzer and now we've done the Massacro. So that's an entire round complete. The final round of the season was the Massacro for GT1, Schwarzer for GT2. And I actually raced around it in this exact colour scheme of Massacro. This was my car for that actual race. Okay, I can make up a few places here. I don't like that I'm getting some of the quicker cars. And I'm not maximising them. But again, I started at the back. That's a bad one. This is the old famous Bruffy orange colour scheme that I've still never told everybody what the colour combination is. Very few people actually get it right. A lot of people think they know the colour combination, but they're usually wrong. 1 million subs, I said it back in the day. Everyone wanted to know what colour Bruffy orange was. I'll tell you at 1 million subs. Which might never happen, so you'll just never know. We might be on Grand Theft Auto 7 by then. Blue plus blue is the classic meme, yes. Oh! Tried to cut back. FiveM lag wouldn't let me. Okay, that was bad. Okay, so I've been taken out once and I've crashed on my own twice. Into both signs that it's possible to crash into. I fear that this is going to be a little bit of a rough second half of the race, especially considering I'm having these crashes in the fast cars. Bullet. So we've completed round 4 now. That was the Zentorno and the Bullet. What can I can't believe I'm in 18th, but it's just because I've been having the good cars. What can I realistically hope for in this race? What can I aim for? Again, I'm not going to know exactly where I am until we get to the end of the race, really. Because everybody's... You know, the people who are further back might get the quicker cars later on and whatnot. It's the classic random select format, where it all comes together at the end. But starting in, what was it, 45th off the line, after a massive harmonic start. And been taken out once with a respawn, and had 2 crashes of my own accord into the signs. They weren't massive time losses, to be fair, but maybe top half is the best that I can hope for. Maybe I can aim for a top 20. 20th out of 47, despite all of the negatives against me right now. I would call that a decent result, if I can squeeze that out. That's what I'm going to aim for. I think top 10 is out of the question at this point. Honestly, anything within the top 20, whether it's 20th or anything higher, would be a result, I reckon. There's the DiNmiTe. That speed to the line, and then bye-bye. So this will be the slowest car. So we've completed round 3 now. Round 3 on Cutting Corners GP was compact. It had the Prairie and the DiNmiTe as the GT1 and GT2 cars. So, considering we've only done 7 laps, I've completed 3 of the rounds. The other one round we've only had 1 car from, and then the other 3 we've had nothing from. Yeah, this is the slowest car in the entire race. This is going to be... Well, at least I'm getting it out now. I've got 4 GT1 cars to go. And 3 GT2 cars. But some of the GT2 cars might be quicker than some of the GT1 cars, so you can't really say too much about that. Getting it out now. Yo, what? I'm getting it out of the way now. Like, the DiNmiTe, I'm getting the DiNmiTe out of the way. It's going to be done. So I can have the second half of the race with better stuff, is what I'm saying. I wonder if the GT1 and GT2 cars for the compacts round were actually all the... were the 2 slowest? The Prairie and the DiNmiTe might be slower than everything else, even all the other GT2 cars. So I might have had the 2 slowest cars in the class, in the race. But I also think I've had the 2 fastest cars as well, with the Zentorno and the Massacro. So I have to just wait and see what happens as we get to the end. For those who have never seen the MCEC before, obviously it stands for the Multi-Class Endurance Championship. It's racing, but with 2 in the case of Season 1, and then all the other seasons, 3 different classes. So there's GT1 is the fastest cars, GT2 is middle, and then GT3 are the slowest cars, and people are only racing against people in their own classes. And there's the element of skill in not losing too much time in slower traffic and whatnot. That's part of the charm. And they're hour-and-a-half long races as well. Multi-class endurance championship with only 1 actual multi-class round. Yeah, we did manage to get a multi-class... No, that's not true, actually. Alright, Dominator, another GT1 car. Again, I've had all of the cars from the first 4 rounds. The final 6 cars are all going to be from new... Like, ooh. Like, maybe you'd expect to have, you know, a more of a mix, but I've completed the set already. For rounds 3, 4, 6 and 7. 6 was the muscle class. With the Dominator in GT1 and the Vigero in GT2. So I've got round 1 to go with the sedans class, round 2 with the coupes class, and round 5 with the SUVs. So I'm going to be in middling performance cars to the end. I've lost my train of thought now. I was going to say, I was in the middle of saying something and it's gone now. Don't know what it was. Wow. Oh yeah, the multi-class round that we did. Obviously, every round, through the limitations of GTA Online, has to be, it's multi-class, but really it's all one class. So there's a round where we're doing muscle cars only, and the multi-class aspect of it is that the GT1 car is one of the fastest in the muscle class, and the GT2 car is one of the slowest. That's how you get the multi-class aspect. But we have done a few actual multi-class races over the years. Jesus. Some kind of unintentionally when we've done the off-roads class, which has multiple different cars that you can race in it from different classes. So one might have been an off-road vehicle, one might have been technically in the service class or the industrial class with the Guardian or whatever. And then for the final round of Season 5, because it was meant to be the final... Beautiful sunset on the North Loop, by the way, as always. It was meant to be the final season. We actually used the multi-class glitch. And did Supers and Sports together on the North Loop for the final round. But yeah, it's still a shame we don't have the ability to just select cars from any class. That'd make it more interesting. How does the multi-class glitch work? There's a video on my channel from about 8 years ago or something that explains it. I still believe it's something that, like, has been hidden away by the devs. Like, they've been reported it as a glitch, and then any dev who is appreciative or likes what we do in racing has just been like, okay, let's just put that lowest on the priority list and ignore it. Just let them have this. You got to go through a bunch of steps to be able to get some multi-class races, but let them have it. Then we don't have to develop anything to actually make actual multi-class races. I think the video is like how to do multi-class races in GT Online or something. I think that's what it's called. Alright, FQ2. SUVs. That was round 5 on Cutting Coroner's GP. This was the GT2 car, obviously. I had my first ever controversial MCEC moment in this car. In that round. Taking out Opalescent Falcon. I thought I was within my rights to go for the move. And I think that was the general consensus afterwards as well. But I was concerned at the time. Also a Season 5 car. Yeah, it was like, the thing is with Season 5, I tried to bring back some of the, because it was meant to be the final season. It was meant to be more of a celebration of the MCC, so I tried to include some new stuff, but also bring back some classic cars and rounds that we'd had in the past. I think the Dominator and possibly the Huntley have the most appearances in the MCEC. Either one or both of them have been in every single season, I want to say. That won't be the case for Season 6 though. All cars in Season 6 are going to be new and never featured in the MCEC before. Alright, Premier, another GT2 car from the opening round. Back on the 28th of September 2014. GT2 for the sedans class. Quicker than an FQ2 at least. So the GT2 car in the sedans round was quicker than the GT2 car in the SUVs round. The North Loop's always been a beautiful place to race around, especially in a multi-class endurance format where you're racing around for an hour and a half and you go through the entire day-night cycle twice. North Loop's been beautiful for that always. That's why it always ends every season. It's the perfect sign-off. We're only doing half of it. Wow. So I assume they respawned. I'm very happy about that. Holy shit, I was about to get wiped out. Yeah, it does seem like I'm catching the prairie, so the GT2 car in sedans was quicker than the GT1 car in compacts. Maybe the FQ2 is the only one where it might be slower than the prairie. Alright, Zion. GT1 car for the coupes round. So I've got 3 classes left in the last 3 cars. I've got the GT2 car for the coupes, the GT1 car for the sedans, and the GT1 car for the SUVs. It'd be really nice to finish in the GT1 car for sedans. If that's my final car, that'd be really swell. That's the Shafter. So we started with the Schwarzer, which we raced on the North Loop. For the final round in GT2. And the Shafter was what we raced on the North Loop in the first round in GT1. That would be a nice way to end this race. Bookend it very nicely. The Zion's quicker than the Bullet, I just can't get past. Do the old Mika Hakkinen, use the back marker. There we go. The poor Bullet. The Bullet is the slowest and fastest car in the Supers class now, with its successor, the FMJ HSW. The Bullet should have just put... They should have just put HSW on the Bullet. I will die on the hill that they wasted HSW. They started off so well with putting it on old cars, and then they just ignored it to squeeze more money out of the player base with new cars. Sentinel XS. Okay, we've had the coupes class back to back. GT1 and GT2 in coupes. So there's only 2 left, the Huntley S and the Shafter. I want the Huntley S next to bookend this race perfectly with the Shafter as the final car. That would be cool. Going past the Dilettante. There's 19th. So I'm in the fringes of a top 20. Don't know what cars people are going to have behind me. But apart from those 2 little signpost mistakes, I feel like I've driven not too badly in this one. I mean, I have a lot of MCEC experience on this track, I guess. And also racing these cars. Like, I know it was 11 years ago, but it probably still counts for something. That crash where I had to respawn has been my biggest time loss, really. Apart from the harmonic start, obviously. Oh, that was close.
Hey, Daddy. What are we doing tonight? I'm listening, Daddy.
It is the Huntley. Oh, it's gonna be perfect. That was interestingly timed, just with all the silence, just having a nice little time in the Sentinel, and then. If you weren't here and you haven't seen that before, yes, I have added Angel AI as donation sounds at that 690 value, and there's 5 different sounds that one of which will display randomly. Are we still doing these? Evidently. What are we doing today, Daddy? We're doing MCEC is what we're doing. Alright, the Huntley is the GT1 car for the SUVs class. It was along with the FQ2. Probably, I think it might be the most used car in MCEC. It's just such a good vehicle. And we're going to finish with the Shafter. That's perfect. Like, of all, like, you know, I could have just had any car selection. We chose the Schwarzer to start with, obviously. But then it could have been any car that ended up finishing it. But for it to have been the Shafter. Same track, but the GT1 car as the car we started with, and related, the Shafter and the Schwarzer as well. They're so similar. This is looking pretty good for a top 20, you know. I don't think the Shafter's going to be that quick, but at least it's a GT1 car. And maybe there'll be some slow cars up in front. Maybe people still have a DiNmiTe to go on their last lap. It's got to be some of that group in front, though. I don't think I'll catch much beyond that. Alright, here we go. Shafter time. I'm officially reliving the very first lap in MCEC history with the Shafter in the very first race in GT1 all those years ago. Any DiNmiTes? Nah. No luck. I'm not gaining any places here. What's behind me? Massacro. I might lose a place to the Massacro, but I think I might be alright for a top 20. That top 20 we were going to aim for. Yeah, the Shafter is not quick. I mean, I was never going to be taking the win in this one, but I think this has been a pretty decent comeback. From outside the top 40 on a harmonic start, so I was already God knows how far behind everybody at the start. And having to respawn from a takeout. And then 2 minor crashes that didn't cost too much, to be fair, but I don't think it's going to make a difference to my overall finishing position, those 2 crashes. mostly a relatively clean race. And I've gone from 45th at the start of the first lap to 17th. That's a pretty good comeback. By that logic, if I'd started 35th, I would have finished 7th. If I'd started 25th, I would have finished minus 3rd. That's how that works, right? Well, there we go. Reliving Multi-Class Endurance Championships Season 1. It was fun to go back through all those cars. It was a different time back then. Thanks for the GGs. A very different time. Only 2 GTs. 7 rounds. Back on the original gen of the games. 360 and PS3, but some of the things we did then we're still doing now. That was the start of when we did the MCEC shenanigans. The whole format was created from season 1 and built upon for the remainder of the season. So if you want to see the origin story of MCEC, watch season 1. But yeah, for the next few Fridays, they're all going to be these MCEC races. Go through all the season 2 cars, then season 3 cars, and so on. And then finally we'll be finishing it all off with MCEC season 6 actually starting after we've done season 5. And then we'll probably do a random more for the season 6 cars as well, because why not? But that'll be after the season's over. We can reminisce. We will have to do the 2025 cars race, yes, but like all of that stuff isn't going to happen until after we're done with these MCEC races. We're going to do all these MCEC races first, then we're going to do random alls during the MCEC being on, and then the next random more is going to be the season 6 race, and then we can do other stuff after that. No random alls for the whole of January, exactly right. Taking a break after episode 200. But then it'll be only random alls in February and March. And there it is, 17th. Ended up being 1 minute 44 back. Maybe I realistically could have got a top 10 possibly if I'd had a better starting position and not had the takeout. But probably not much beyond that. Well, depending on where my starting position was, I suppose. But close finish between 12th, 13th and 14th. 3/10 between the 3 of them. That's crazy. Without my 2 mistakes, I bet I could have been in that fight over 10th. Because it was a 128 behind and 133 behind from 10th all the way down to 15th. It's close to being in that fight. Well, fun race. And like I said, I'll link all the seasons and all the info for MCEC in the description of all of these random videos if you want to watch more and get up to speed before we start season 6. So we had SkyPie during that with the 690. Are we still doing these? Thank you very much, SkyPie. DiNmiTe with the 85 months of subscription. Thanks to whoever hosted it. I don't know who that was though. Oh, okay, that was well timed. I forgot to mention that DiNmiTe hosted the. I did it again. I did it again. I feel like more times than not, when DiNmiTe helps me host a random race and sets it all up for me, like he just did today with that one, I will forget to thank him. More times than not, I'm going to forget. Sorry. Thanks, DiNmiTe, for hosting the MCEC race and organising it. And he will be organising all of the next ones as well for Season 2, Season 3, Season 4. So that's a thanks in advance for when I inevitably forget next time. That clown was well timed. Thank you, Espan, for the 450. Why did nobody call you a clown today? And if someone did, why didn't more? Yeah, that was clownish behaviour. So the multi-class endurance championship is a bit over a month away, and we're going to do 5 multi-class. Oh my god, I've absolutely bollocksed that up. See, this is a perfect example of how I don't pre-prepare what I'm going to say at the start of these races. Nailed it. Should I just leave that in?